Many paths lead from the foot of the mountain, but at the peak we're all gazing at the one single bright moon. Hi everyone. What does that mean to you? It's beautiful, isn't it? All the paths, they lead from the foot of the mountain, but at the peak of the mountain we're all gazing at the one bright single moon. Many people would say to me, Pauline, that's all paths lead to God. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the power of relationships. And how's your family? Where's your family in this lockdown? I know my family are in Australia, many parts. Stan and I have family in Melbourne and in many parts of Queensland, some in England, some in Turkey. And they're scattered. I'm close to some of them and not close to others, but I value contact with all of them. And somehow in this lockdown, working out a way to speak to our family, to connect with them, to be real with them, is part of my journey, and I think yours. And some of you are surrounded by family right around you. Actually, there are some people that come to mind in my heart when I say family that aren't my flesh and blood, as it were. And I think that could be for you. Think about it. It's about the power of a relationship of love that's real, that you've shared more with than just a cup of coffee. And because our world is so mixed up, we actually have to find some family where we are, even when we're in a lockdown, sometimes living alone or sometimes just with our flesh and blood. I want you to meet a member of my family because we've shared quite a bit of a journey together. And he's the reason I can make this video because he's in my bubble. And I want you to hear from him because he wants to talk about his flesh and blood family. They're so far away. Okay, so presto, I am now going to be the camera person.
I still remember on the plane, I come back to New Zealand in late January. And I was wearing the mask all the time. And my family was really nervous about me leaving because they heard about the Hong Kong airport and then everything happened around the world. So my mom, she put a lot of masks in my suitcase. And luckily, I still have some stock here. So I'm really grateful for it. Even though I couldn't see them in person, but during this lockdown, I become more like a good son. I call her more often. I talk to her. And she really liked to spend time, even though it's not face to face. But we know that we care for each other during this lockdown. And I know that lots of people around the world are separated. The family is forced to be two places or different places in the world. But I still believe that the love, they care about us, they connect to us, and we're not alone. In home, I always believe that home is where your hearts belong. And I'm really lucky that I find a home not just back in Taiwan, but also here in New Zealand. When I see the people here, I miss them and everyone as well. So I'm really grateful for during this lockdown, we somehow find another way to become more intimate with each other and then learning about what really matters in our life. So I miss you, Mom, but I'll be fine and I assure you well. Stay strong. Bye-bye. 阿母啊，我伫遮拢真好，你慢慢保重呢，大家平安。拜拜。
Ming spoke in his mother tongue, Taiwanese. So that would mean a lot to his family. Well, Jesus had something to say about families. There was an occasion when he was with some followers, people listening to him. We get the feeling that it was an intense conversation, and he got a message saying that his mother and his brothers and his sister were outside waiting for him. His family was there. Could he come out, please? And Jesus said the strangest thing. He said, who is my mother? Who are my brothers and sisters? And then he said something very important. Whoever does the will of God, that is my family. What did he mean? Was he saying he didn't want his family? Or could he be saying that when you are at one with the love and compassion and mercy of God working with someone, that you realize that they too are family? This is the hope of the world. And I'm privileged to be a part of it in some way, a very frail part sometimes. But I know that God's love and compassion in you and me, we can not just defeat a lockdown and a virus, but perhaps rebuild the very meaning of what it means to live on this very beautiful blue planet. God be with you. I leave you with a photo. I have it with me here on my little shelf. It's a symbol of what I've been talking about. More about family tomorrow. Bye for now.